Isn't it amazing how quickly a player or a team that America fell in love with can turn hated so quickly, like the Kansas City Chiefs? Because people used to think it was fun to watch a guy who draft experts said was overrated at the 10th overall pick go out there and win. It was a great story until it keeps happening over and over again. And the hate has gotten so bad with Kansas City that there are people out there who hate America's sweetheart, Taylor Swift, just because she's with them. And that's what an incredible championship weekend in the NFL gave us. We had Patrick Mahomes taking down MVP Lamar Jackson to make his not one, not two, not three, but fourth Super Bowl appearance at age 28. But first, we need to talk about the necessary heel turn that the Kansas City Chiefs have made to try to stay on top of the NFL mountain. Just like Bret Hart turning heel in WrestleMania 13 that made Steve Austin become a babyface, it was best for everybody. The Chiefs are making an attempt to become the type of dynasty that the league has never seen before. 3 consecutive Super Bowl wins is a real possibility if they beat San Francisco. And you don't get where nobody has ever been by being nice guys. And I'm talking about the front office on down to Patrick Mahomes himself, who we saw bickering with Ravens kicker Justin Tucker in pregame warmups, and that was even before Travis Kelce came over and threw his balls and his helmet out of the way. I love that. Inject that into my veins because it's all love after the game, but before, we ain't friends. Get the hell out of my space, opera boy. The men are working. Respectfully. Actually, before the game, not even respectfully. And humility isn't about making yourself small. It's about knowing your place in the world while refusing to rest on your laurels. Now, the Chiefs believe that their place is at the top of the AFC, and until somebody comes along and proves them wrong, they are. And humility is the Chiefs working to get better, but still having the confidence in the idea that they're better than your team. And they are. Even though they haven't been able to afford keeping stars like Tyrann Mathieu, Tyreek Hill, Frank Clark, Orlando Brown, or Juju Smith-Schuster, even though they lost their offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, even though all their draft picks are late in the rounds, even though Rashee Rice, a rookie second rounder, was their only consistent wide receiver this year, even though Pro Bowl guard Joe Thuney and their starting linebacker Willie Gay missed the AFC Championship, even though the Giants flipped their third rounder that they got from the Chiefs in the Kadarius Toney trade for Darren Waller, who had twice as many catches as Toney this year, they're still better than you. And as a side note, Kadarius Toney, come on, bruh. The Chiefs are doing you a favor by telling people that you're an injury scratch. Don't get on social media and tell the world that you're not actually playing because you stink right now. Humility is for you. Recognize that they don't need you. So take the time, get yourself together, and don't make them boys tell you to stay off the team plane to Las Vegas. Even the Chiefs defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, is dialed in, and the players are in his scheme too. They're not afraid of the freak athlete quarterbacks, the gunslingers, the workhorse running backs, the elite wide receivers. They face their worst nightmare, the marriage of Patrick Mahomes' talent and Andy Reid's play calling in practice every single day. And they're not afraid of your boogeyman, but your team's defense is absolutely afraid of theirs. And the Chiefs, they know this. It's why the comments that they've fallen off get buried in the same graveyard as your AFC team's playoff hopes. At this point, the Chiefs aren't a fun story anymore. Not after winning on the road in Buffalo and Baltimore. If they were ever even Anakin Skywalker, well, now they're in full Darth Vader mode. They're the executioner and the Undertaker. People love you until they can't stop you. Ask the Golden State Warriors, or the 90s Chicago Bulls, or Nick Saban, or Tom Brady. Do you know how the Dallas Cowboys became the most hated team in America, even though they spent the last 2.5 decades being irrelevant on the football field in terms of championships? It's because they won a lot and they did it in a short amount of time. And you have to be built completely different to see the same people that cheered your ascension start to prey on your downfall and not be wounded at all by it. But the Chiefs don't care whether you're on the bandwagon or in front of it. This train is moving forward no matter what. Don't believe me? Just ask Travis Kelce.
I don't give a damn if they respect us or not.
Last up today, I want to talk about Brock Purdy because it's no secret that I don't exactly love the Brock Purdy hype because I've posted about it on my channel before. But to everybody that commented without actually watching the video, I'm not a Brock Purdy hater. I'm a unrealistic hype hater because in that video, I called Brock Purdy the perfect player for the perfect system with the perfect weapons. And my fear was that we were only building him up in the media to turn around and tear him down. But as the year went on, my doubts about Purdy grew. 4 times this year in games that Brock Purdy started, the opposing team jumped out to an early lead. And Purdy went 0-4 in those games and threw 9 picks trying to get San Francisco back in it. He didn't even have a single solitary fourth quarter comeback or game-winning drive all year. Now, mostly they were putting teams away early. And to be fair to Purdy, he was part of building those leads. But in the playoffs, they've been a revelation. He's come back twice. He's made plays in the clutch. He's made plays with his legs, made the hard throws on the run, everything that you could ask. But did he have some good fortune on that IU deep ball? Bruh, understatement. But every quarterback has balls bounced their way and the other team's way. It usually evens out over the course of a career, but all you got to do is get it hot in the playoffs. But I want to close today with this, that the narrative is going to be Brock Purdy versus Patrick Mahomes. It's David versus Goliath. 2 things about that. Anybody calling Brock Purdy the massive underdog after they spent all season calling him a star is undercutting their own point. He either belongs or he doesn't. And 2, every single time we use the David versus Goliath in sports, we're forgetting that the point of the story was that God was on David's side. And Goliath wasn't winning that one, buddy. Goliath was the David of the David and Goliath story because he was up against God. But back to the Purdy versus Mahomes. If Brock Purdy belongs on this stage, it'll look like he belongs. It's really as simple as that. He's got the swagger of Steve Rogers. He's got all the tools any quarterback actually needs, and his teammates have his back. He's got the best front 7 in football on the other side trying to stop Patrick Mahomes. There are no excuses for Brock Purdy here. Not his youth, not inexperience, not size, not arm strength. Because at this level, with 100 million people watching, you either have it or you don't. And we know for sure that Patrick Mahomes has it. How about Brock?